Josie Sparks. I'm also from Bloomington, Indiana. I go to Bloomington High School South. First thing I want to talk about is where I grew up. Southern Indiana is exactly what you think it is. Farmland, cows, wooden fences, all that stuff, but also a majority conservative population, which gave me some struggles and some of the stuff I was trying to do that I honestly did not expect as much as I got. I grew up going to a place called Bradford Woods, which is an environmental explorers camp for kids where we got to learn about indigenous people that were native to Indiana, as well as hiking, fishing. I mean, there's a slew of things. It's the classic summer camp, and it's really where they taught me about zero waste, about sustainability, and about my love for the environment. So these are a few of the people that helped me out along the way. A group of friends came over for our organic floss and dinner. They helped me send emails, not only to politicians, but also to other change makers in our community, including the school board. A couple of friends came over for a fashion discussion documentary. Rowan was there. People I didn't expect, conversations I didn't expect, but it went really well, and I'm glad. My cousins helped me make a lip balm that worked with my allergies, which we'll get to later. And we made a teaching tool for the local garden, as well as support for activism, which was huge. My cousin and I, every year, we have this, what we call the Big Skillet. It's our family reunion, and every year we throw everything away. And I had never thought about it. I didn't really care as much. We learned recycling in school. We don't question it. But this year, we had just started Project Green, and I was like, what the heck? Like, this is ridiculous. So I got her help, and we tore a page out of her sketchbook. We made a recycling bin and a compost bin. 3 times the amount of recycling. Almost 100 people. And that was the result. They said, first question, what's recyclable? How do I know? I said, I don't care. Anything you think is recyclable, throw it in there. Bad idea. Bad idea for me 3 weeks later when I finally got to it. But I was super excited that it worked out. One of them actually was going to throw his whole plate away. He looked right at me, and I saw him. We made eye contact. Kind of scary moment, and he was like, well, you're going to get mad at me if I do it wrong, so I'm just not going to do it. And that's how people in Southern Indiana feel. They feel attacked by politicians, by kids like me that are trying to make change. They don't feel like they're part of the conversation. Their lifestyle is being changed. They feel like they're going to fail because they haven't grown up with this stuff. In California, recycling, composting might not be this big controversial political thing. In Indiana, it definitely is, which I didn't think I knew before that. Opportunities through PGC. Obviously, activism. I had to convince myself that I knew enough to partake, and that was a really hard thing for me. We made soil sign for the garden at Childs with Ms. Smith's help. Talked about how she runs everything. The kids showed me how they compost. It's a zero food waste facility. It's all one teacher, no help. She does everything. She teaches the kids, and they help her. High school students volunteer at the garden club, and that's how it's run. No one else helps her. They kids love this. More than I can say, they love it. They want to take out their phones and take pictures to show their parents. It's a weird new world, but they love it. Okay, the allergies. There we go. All of you have experienced my allergy. Most of you have experienced my allergies in the past weekend. And I just want to say thank you, Judy, Hannah, everyone, for keeping me alive the past week I'm a severe tree nut allergy. I need an EpiPen for an anaphylactic reaction. And it is really, really hard to get past that a lot of times. You can't find a lot of foods that don't have almond oil, coconut oil, shea butter. None of that really exists. I mean, it does, but it's very hard to find, and it's often very expensive. Same thing for skin. I have eczema. Last night, I had an allergic reaction on my face to the makeup wipes that had nothing in it I'm allergic to. No idea why. It just happens. So it takes a lot of trial and error. It can be very scary sometimes to try new things, which is why I often don't. But this weekend I definitely have, good and bad, I think. I got to speak at the school board meeting, which was amazing. I told them about my experience with fighting for getting recycling in our cafeterias, how I was blatantly lied to about how we did have recycling in our cafeteria. 2 days after this, we did. So that was a big moment for me, but we went to a summit, and I learned that in Indianapolis there's a 7% recycling rate, which is insane. Wrote an article on energy, submitted it to 6 places, got rejected from 6 places. So, rejection, that's baby me, just as sad as I am now about that. But a reminder, Gone with the Wind, for one of the first Technicolor films, massive industry, Rejected 38 times. Walt Disney fired for having no imagination and no good ideas. You can do it. I had to have spontaneity and confidence. I had to trust myself and convince myself that I knew what I was talking about, especially through the challenge. I had to know that I knew. I trusted myself, that I was learning quality information and that I could teach others. So that's what we did. Okay, action plan. You guys can grab that real quick. All right, I'm going to sit down a little bit. We made this earlier. The action plan is for a nonprofit that will hopefully, eventually, have a space where students can get together from all over the city to work together. Right now, we have about 10 or 12 different groups. They're all doing different stuff. They range from religious groups to school groups, school clubs. IU is a big one. But they're all kind of working against each other because they can't move out of the sphere of Bloomington. We're an eco bubble, and they can't make change past city limits. So we have all of those people here working kind of against each other. Nothing's getting done, right? So, well, some stuff's getting done. Look at that. They don't have a lot of communication. They don't have a place where they can come together, and they're not really collaborating. There's moments where we are. We're touching base. We're sharing things, but we're not sharing enough to make it worth it. So here's where this comes in. Youth Climate Solutions, hopeful nonprofit, to get our team together. Those are the mostly students. Rowan's up there. So say Rowan wanted to start his garden, right? He's got this great idea, and he wants to include all three groups, the kids, the teens, the college students, and pull them into one thing. He's going to have education and activity, hopefully through us is the goal here. Corporation-wide funding, so that if he wants to start a rain garden, we can provide them with funding, with resources, with professionals for all schools. If South wants to improve their rain garden, North can start one. That's how we want it to be. We want to be able to provide for everyone. And college students can make that professional case for students that can't, or that are too young, or maybe don't have a standing, like we experienced through all of Project Green Challenge, and make that professional case to people that will care and donate and sponsor us. So, number one, communication, Facebook groups, Slack, putting stuff out on the walls at school, all that kind of stuff, bringing people into the idea. Moving to a safe space. At first, is that online? Is that in libraries and small groups? Eventually, will it be a building with our name on it? Hopefully. And finally, generates long-term, widespread solutions. Hopefully, I'm going to say we will have widespread solutions to a ton of local problems. If all of these groups can come together with their various ideas, energy, like zero waste, Rowan's rain garden, that hopefully we can support all of them. We don't have to pick one or the other. End result, all schools have rain gardens. And continuing on to other aspects. So action plan. By February 1st, I want a solid team. This is a tentative team. I'd like to find some other students that are interested just as much. Create communication channels, that's the Slack and the Facebook groups. By mid-April, presentation or pitch to the public, be about a video that we can post online and send to people that are interested. A fiscal sponsor chosen, researched chosen, someone that can help us where we don't have to struggle from the bottom becoming a nonprofit. A functional website, something that works, something that tells people what we're for, where they can get involved and contact us. By May 1st, 2020, our deadline, a green light on all of the above. It's in place, it's working, it's go. Because it is all online, it is not accessible in person, meetings identified with sponsors, donors, partners, things like that. Call-out meeting, in person, a physical space where these students can come together and actually start discussing these things, right? I'd like to think that this is a Project Green Challenge in a room. Be it in a room, in a chat room, in an online part, for some part of it. But everything we learned, using those resources, teaching kids that they can do exactly what we did, that's what I would like to do. Thank you.